the first thing I want to show you and why we're seated is because I want to give you a chance to feel how you can get that sense of grounding without having to deal with the leg part for a moment. And so the first thing that we're going to do is just find your seat on your chair. And finding your seat is a really important thing because those sit bones are actually the balance point for your pelvis. So just kind of finding those two spots and locating them and just seeing where you are. Like, you know, for example, the way that I'm sitting on this lower stool, by the fact that my knees are a little bit higher than my hips, I can actually feel how it pushes me onto the back of my sit bones a little bit. So there's just all kinds of really interesting things to notice about that. And you might notice that the more you get yourself onto that sit bone centering point, the more your spine has a tendency to just naturally start to align. So spending a long period of time in front of a computer or that kind of thing, it can be really useful every once in a while to kind of come back and find that place and just kind of feel how you might find that center. So that's an important side benefit, but what we're going to use this for is the grounding sense today. So the first thing I want you to try is to see what happens if you take your left foot and you just start to very lightly ease the pressure off the ground. So you might not even leave the ground. It's just as if you're starting to think about doing that. And as you notice the lightening of your pressure of your foot, you might notice that it starts transferring the weight into that particular side, that sit bone on that left side of your body. And to just kind of feel how as you start to release the pressure of your foot off the ground and bring your leg into gravity, that you can feel how there's an engagement that happens. And what I want you to look for is that sense of engagement where you can start to feel the muscles start to kind of activate and to just feel into the edge of that and then just release it again. So there'll be a place where there's that kind of gathering up and then you're going to feel the engagement of the muscles, and at a certain point there'll be kind of like a pressure, a pushback that's happening. Your leg isn't just going to lift lightly into the air, and just to hang out there and then release from that. And then come across to your right leg and try the same kind of thing, like just finding your feet on the ground so that you feel the difference between the two of them, and then starting to just notice that right foot and leg more and start to take a little bit of its weight up into gravity and just feel again like how far it goes before it feels like it starts hitting that kind of tightening of the muscles and a little bit of back pressure that at a certain point you'd have to really kind of work to get that foot off the ground. Feel into that edge and then just gradually let that down. Now that edge that you're feeling is actually the place where disorganization starts to happen in your body. And so this can be a sobering thing to get, that sometimes your foot isn't even leaving the ground and already you're having to push through all kinds of disorganization, and that's where things start to go wrong with our walking and our posture and God knows what. So it's really useful to just kind of identify that. In fact, if you come across to the left leg again and just go through the same process of starting to really first of all notice your feet on the ground and then just gradually easing the pressure or bringing your leg up into gravity, you might notice that the distance you go might be just a micro bit further, the ease, before you start hitting up against that kind of clenching. And so just feel where that is now, and then let that ease back off again. And so what we can tell is that by not pushing that edge, the amount that you get with greater ease means that your nervous system is already learning a little bit more about how to organize itself properly without going into old habits. And then come across to the right leg, really feel the difference first of all, get your starting point of how the 2 feet are, how your legs are, and then start to bring your awareness into that right leg with the intention of kind of bringing it up into gravity, and just feel how far that movement goes. And then just gradually let that ease off. So what that tends to do is to just give you more of a sense of how you connect through your pelvis and through your legs and to the floor.